everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right folks, so this has been a long time coming. So for this video I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the 4K picture for my latest 4K pickup that I got for the Exorcist. And as you can see, it comes in this rather deluxe looking edition. Now there's multiple versions you can get out there for this movie on 4K. For instance, there is a standard release that comes with 4 discs. You get 2 4Ks, you get 2 Blu-rays, all of it going for £20, which is quite incredible considering everything you're getting with that release. There is also a collector's edition, and it comes in this nice hard rigid box set. You get newly commissioned artwork on that as well. And there's a steelbook inside that of the original artwork. It's actually featured inside this set. And then there's 2 other steelbook editions you can get, one with the original artwork, the other with the newly commissioned artwork. I think I've seen that on Amazon Italy, and I think you can get it on HMV as well. And then of course you have this release, but unfortunately this one is sold out. Now I was a bit torn between which version to go for, this one or the collector's edition, but I have to tell you, as soon as I got this in my hands, I realized quite quickly that I made the right decision in picking this one up. It is absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to taking you around this one and showing you everything that's inside it. So that will be coming up very soon. Now I know there's a lot of people out there waiting for me to review this one, and trust me folks, if I was able to review it sooner I would have, but I wanted this deluxe release and it just made no sense to go out and buy the standard release. There was just no point to it at all. So a huge apologies that I'm a bit late to this one, but like I said, I have it in my hands now. I watched it last night, and yes, I'll be reviewing that now for you very soon. As for the movie itself, look, I don't have to speak too much about it. You know it yourselves. It is an absolute horror classic, regarded as still the greatest demonic possession movie of all time, and rightly so, and it's because it never held back its punches. It is brutal, it is disturbing, and genuine scary at times, and you can imagine them trying to make something similar today. You just know for a fact the studios would simply not entertain it, and it's probably why the latest Exorcist movie got panned the way it did. Now I'm actually going to see that tonight, so a huge fingers crossed on that one, but I'm not expecting too much from it. Now the one little gripe that I have when it comes to The Exorcist, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts out there on this one, it is the detective side of the story. I just feel it has no bearing on the movie itself, and I could have done without the scenes. It is my one little gripe to an almost perfect horror movie, and if you haven't checked it out, please do. I think you'll be massively impressed by it. Now in terms of special features, you're well covered as well. You do get that 5th bonus disc in this set, and you get 2 lengthy documentaries in there, and they're actually quite amazing, very interesting to look at as well. So yes, definitely covered in terms of special features. Right folks, so I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to take us around this set. I'm going to show you everything that's inside it, and then I'm going to come back and review the 4K picture. So yeah, let's get to it. Right, so here we go, The Exorcist. So the first thing you will notice is the edition itself almost looks like the Bible. It is a pretty cool effect. It has a lovely bit of texture into it. It's almost like imitation leather. And you've simply got The Exorcist written on it in spot glossing. So there's not much to be seen, but I'll take you in close just to give you a look at the texture there. It looks rather beautiful. And I'm just going to say at the start here as well, the J card that's wrapped around it, I am not going to take it off because there's absolutely nothing on the back of this box. It's just more of that kind of imitation leather. So I didn't see the need to remove it. So that is the main artwork. That's the spine of it. And as you can see, it's more of the same than what we've seen on the main box, or the main artwork. And then right around to the back, this is the J card itself. As you can see there, it's showing you all the contents that's inside it. It is a 5-disc set. That's the special features on the left-hand side. And then I'll just take you in close and let's just have a look at some of the technical aspects as well. So that is the actual J card itself, and along the top there you simply just got The Exorcist there in green writing. It just shows you both versions, and I don't think there's anything on the bottom, no. And then that is the insert. So I'm going to take this out and give you a close look at that. Now here we go. So as you can see, this has a purple background to it, and with that silver writing it just looks absolutely incredible, but it's much the same to what we've seen on the other box. The only difference is they do have the cross there, but the purple really does pop. It's absolutely beautiful. But the only problem is it's a fingerprint magnet, unfortunately. So that is the spine of it. It is the exact same as the outer box, again, just a different colour scheme. And then right around to the back is a nice bit of spot gloss in there. And as you can see, it is that iconic scene from the movie itself, and it looks rather beautiful. As a matter of fact, that's actually coming across better on my camera than me actually looking at it, funny enough. Very nice. And then right down to the bottom there is my unique number. It's 1023 of 2000. So I don't think there's anything on the tops or the bottoms or on the spine. So let's open it up and see what we've got inside. So this almost feels like a Film Vault release. You've got a bit of a quote on the left hand side. As you can see, it is "What an excellent day for an exorcism." So I knew that was going to feature in this set somewhere. So this is the content. So I'm just going to quickly remove it. And I think I will start with the book here. So let me just put this aside. Right, so here we go. This is the BFI Film Classic book. I haven't actually got around to reading this, but something is telling me it's just going to be a write-up of the entire history of the movie. So that's the back of it there, and I'll just quickly glance through it for you. But as you can see, there is a few stills from the movie. And yeah, hopefully I can get around to reading this very, very soon. So there you go. That is just a simple BFI Film Classic book, and I have to admit, I love the artwork on that. It looks rather nice. So put that to a side. And up next you have this this envelope here. And as you can see, this is the newly commissioned artwork, and I think it looks brilliant. And I was so happy to see it featured in this set. And as you can see, it has a very high gloss finish to it because it's reflecting everything. So is there anything on the spines of it? No, and I don't think there's anything on the back. Right, so I'm going to open this up and we'll have a look and see what's inside. Right, so the first thing you will notice is a lobby card. And as you can see, it is that original artwork that we all know and love. And then right around to the back, it's much the same again. So one side has kind of a high gloss finish, the other is just a simple matte. So that's the lobby card. Then we have a poster here. You know what, I'll show that at the end. Hopefully I can get it into frame. Then you've also got another booklet here. This is a high gloss finish as well. Again, that original artwork. And then of course you have the scene with them going up to the room. And this booklet actually kind of has a write-up of all the actors in the actual movie itself and the director himself. So at least that is something different compared to the other book that I showed off. So that is the simple little booklet you get with it. And then you've also got a few postcards, and it's basically showing some iconic scenes from the movie. And not just that, but there is some behind the scenes as well. And I love when they kind of push behind the scenes stills, particularly with the postcards. So that's the fronts of them. And then when you turn it around to the back, you get a bit more. Only for these ones kind of a more matte finish, where the other side has a high gloss. So there is a few more behind the scenes stills, and then it goes into some more iconic scenes from the movie, that being probably the most iconic. So there you go, folks. That is the postcards, and I will quickly bring that poster in again. I'm not sure how well I can get this. You know what, if I turn it sideways, I think you'll get an idea of it. But there you go. It is the artwork that we know and love. But this one, as you can see, has a white finish. Now, if I turn it around, it is the exact same again, but you'll notice it actually has a purple hue to it, which is rather nice. So there we go. That is the poster. And all that's left to do is to finally show the Steelbook itself. Now, this was the biggest selling point for me, because it was very important to get the original artwork on Steelbook form. And as you can see, it looks rather nice. Now, it is a simple matte finish. No spot glossing or debossing or embossing going on. Now, normally I would like a high gloss finish on my Steelbooks, but I have to tell you, the matte finish works so much better on this Steelbook, and I don't think I'd change a thing. So this is the spine of it, if it gets into focus, that is. And right around to the back, and as you can see, it is Reagan, and she is kind of floating there in midair. And of course, Warner Brothers being Warner Brothers, they just had to put the credits down the bottom. So that is the back artwork, not much to be seen there. And then I'll open it up in full, and that is the Steelbook. So I will turn it around, and believe it or not, but there's actually 5 discs in here. It's the one little gripe I have with this set. I just don't like the way the discs are sitting on top of each other. But that is the theatrical version. Then you've also got the director's cut here. And then, of course, that is your special features. And as you can see, all the color schemes to the discs are the exact same. And then Right here you have the theatrical version on 4K. And they've opted for a black colour scheme on that one. And then of course you have the extended cut, and it has a different colour scheme. And then lastly, I have to show the inside artwork. Again, I hope it's coming across in the camera there. Sorry about the light glare there, folks. But I think you can get a good idea of it. So there you have it, folks. That is everything inside this rather beautiful edition of The Exorcist. And I can't stress to you how happy I am that I ended up picking this version in the end. Right, so on to the 4K transfer. So surprise, surprise, I thought this looked rather amazing on 4K. Now it is not perfect, it is far from it, but take nothing away from it. It's still a beautiful viewing experience, but there is inconsistencies there. And one of the inconsistencies I noticed is on the grain structure. Don't get me wrong, for the most part it looks fine, but it does fluctuate at times, and I found it to be a little bit distracting. Much similar to the black levels. You know, for the most part they look beautifully dark and inky, and they do add an element of depth to that picture, but it does fluctuate, and sometimes the blacks look a little bit washed out. But it's only on a handful of scenes, and chances are you won't even notice it. There is some incredible fine detail to be seen across the board here. Just check out the opening sequence. One scene in particular is when he's holding the artifact in his hand. You can make out every single bit of dirt, debris and creases on his hands. It was quite striking, it really, really was. Now the HDR implementation on this one was a little bit too rich for my liking. I wish they might have just dialed it back just a little bit. But I think a lot of people out there are going to be quite surprised by the colours on this. It is by far the most vibrant the movie has ever looked. And yes, I don't think you're going to have too many complaints with it. The contrast looks absolutely incredible. Shadow detail across the board is absolutely amazing as well. Now there is one or two scenes that everyone seems to be talking about, and there is one scene in particular, is the subway scene. Now I wasn't actually going to bring it up for one reason and one reason only. Now everyone was talking about there was a lot of colour bleeding going on, and they are absolutely correct. There is colour bleeding, but my god, the scene is 30 seconds long, so who gives a shit? I don't care. Move on. And the other scene that everyone was talking about was the Exorcist scene at the end of it. Now, the exorcism scene, sorry, at the end of it. They were saying that there was DNR being implemented onto that scene. Me personally, I couldn't see it. Now, there was one scene where I did notice it. And it was the scene where Regan actually hugs the priest at the end of it. The scene just looks incredibly soft. Now, I don't know why that is. I just don't understand it. But that's what I'm talking about, folks. Inconsistency. Now, for the most part, I say 80% of this transfer looks absolutely astonishing. If they were able to correct that 20%, it's probably one of the best looking 4K transfers you're ever likely to see. As for the Dolby Atmos soundtrack on this one, I thought it sounded fantastic, even though there is issues there. Now, the way that the higher channels are implemented, I thought was genius. Just check out the scene at the start of the movie where you hear the scratching coming from the attic. The way it seemingly goes from one side of the room to the other, I found it to be quite convincing. And your rear speakers, just check out the spider walk sequence. You can actually hear her before you actually see her, and it's because of them rear speakers. And it actually elevated that scene. It scared the shit out of me. I was quite taken back by it. Now, there is some great level of bass to it as well. One scene that sticks out for me is the scene when the bed is rocking. There is a good thump of bass on that scene. But there is a weird anomaly as well I noticed when it comes to the audio. It is the scene where you do see the head spin. And right at the end of that sequence, the mother lets a big scream out of her. Now, for some strange reason, the scream came out on my back right channel. And it shouldn't have. It should have came right out of my center. So I'm not sure why that happened. And another issue I had as well is with the dialogue. Now, I'm kind of curious to hear if anyone had this issue as well. But there is two scenes in particular. The scene where mother and daughter are talking about a day out. I heard this weird hissing behind the dialogue. And I found it to be quite distracting. And then there's another scene where the detective comes into the house for the first time. That entire segment, you could hear that hissing again behind the dialogue. And to be honest with you, I was actually waiting for that scene to end. It was actually really frustrating me. But other than a few handfuls of scenes, the Dolby Atmos sounds absolutely amazing. It is very atmospheric. You feel like you're in a dome of sound. And what more can you ask for when it comes to a Dolby Atmos soundtrack? So there you have it, folks. That is my review of The Exorcist on 4K. Yes, it is a little bit inconsistent, but I had a wonderful time with it, and I think you're going to have few complaints when it comes to its audio and its picture quality. So there you have it, folks. So as per usual, if you did like what you see here, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you could leave a comment down below. And please share what you thought of this 4K transfer. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts out there. And yes, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.